Okay, so welcome to this little podcast overview of EDUC 589. I'm gonna go through just a pretty brief PowerPoint here, kind of outlining the course, and then I'm gonna record a separate video that's me walking you through PolyLearn and the different assignments and activities that we'll be doing in this course. So I want you to watch both of these videos in preparation for our next class. And because I'm doing these podcasts and recording these podcasts, then I'm not going to be going over um, the assignments in class. So this will free up some time for us later in the course to talk about other things. So please do watch both of these videos, and if you have any questions, just shoot those over to me via email. So this is educational research methods. We're going to be meeting on Tuesdays, not Wednesdays. That's inaccurate. But we will be meeting on Tuesdays in room 101 from 5 to 8. And this is the course where you will be implementing your educational inquiry projects and writing your manuscripts, a large portion of your manuscripts. The first thing I want to talk to you about is your EIP timeline. You really need to be moving along on this. This is we're sort of to the point where you should have informed consent and you should be very close to collecting baseline data. I would encourage every group to reach out to your faculty mentor because you need to have a meeting before each phase change. So that includes before starting baseline. And the purpose of this meeting is just to double check your procedures, make sure you have informed consent. Your faculty mentor will need to see that informed consent. So now is really the time for you to start thinking about your project. When are we going to start collecting baseline data? Do we have the everything we need in place in order to be able to collect baseline data? There's some forms on PolyLearn, and I'm going to show you some of those forms when we go through PolyLearn, and I have a screen capture of them on the next slide. But you need to take these forms with you, and you need to see what is required for each meeting. And don't schedule a meeting unless you have the necessary components in place and you're ready to move along. But you will need to schedule a meeting with your faculty mentor before each phase change. So before you start baseline data collection, you need to have a meeting. Before you start intervention, you need to have a meeting. Before you do any sort of fading or maintenance or phase C um, treatment changes, you need to have a meeting with your faculty advisor. So please attend to that. It's up to you guys to schedule those meetings, but you can't start collecting baseline data until your faculty mentor is signed off. So whether that's me or whether that's Dr. Wood, you guys need to be reaching out to us this week and giving us an update, letting us know where you are, letting us know when you'd like to meet, and getting those scheduled. So I'm not going to be emailing you and telling you to follow through on that. So that's going to be up to you guys to take care of. So here's an example of the baseline form. You'll need to bring these following materials with you to the meeting: the signed parental consent, your baseline procedural fidelity, and I'll show you kind of an example of one of those, and you're free to develop your own based on that example. Your IOA plan and schedule. So when are you going to be collecting your inter-observer agreement during the baseline phase, and do you have a schedule for data collection? A final copy of your data sheet and a graph. I'm not really concerned about the graph. We can work on that as we go forward, especially because you're not really going to have any data to graph yet. But you need to have these things and have thought about these things. And you need to meet with your faculty mentor, show them these things, get some feedback on some of these elements, and make adjustments as necessary before you start collecting data. So be reaching out to your faculty mentors this evening. You have some time. This course is supposed to meet until 8 o'clock, and we'll be wrapping up long before that. So please use this extra time to meet with your or to email your faculty mentors and try to set up your baseline your pre-baseline meeting. And then you'll need to do this for each phase of your project, and those forms are found on Polylearn. So here's an example of some procedural fidelity checklists for baseline. You can develop your own, but you need to have some baseline procedures that remain consistent, and you need to have a way for tracking that consistency, and you need to share that with your faculty mentor at the pre-baseline meeting. Okay, so in this class we're going to have 3 quizzes, 3 in-class activities, and there will be 3 manuscript sections co-developed with your EIP partner, 1 article evaluation, a handful of course readings. And the quizzes will be over lecture and readings. So what I'm trying to do with this course is to import a lot of the assignments into in-class assignments, because you have so many or so much writing to do. And my feeling is that the writing that you do for this course is going to take up a lot of your out-of-class assignment time. And so some of the assignments that have historically been out-of-class assignments, I'm moving to in-class assignments. So the 3 quizzes you'll do in class, you'll have 3 separate in-class activities. We'll talk about those specifically when we go through the Polylearn in the next video. So 3 quizzes over readings and lectures, 3 in-class activities, and then your 3 manuscript sections. And these will be drafts of your manuscript. You'll do an introduction draft, a methods draft, and a results draft this quarter, and you'll turn each one of those in and receive a grade on each one of those. You'll also do an article evaluation. We'll talk more about that in the next video. And then this course won't be as reading intense as the last course, as 586, but you will be responsible for readings, and those readings are select journal articles around relevant topics, and they're currently available on Polylearn. So we are going to be meeting from 5:10 to 8 each Tuesday. Please bring your laptop to class, because we are going to be going over specific writing assignments, and you guys are going to be working on specific writing assignments in class. I'm going to try to craft out some writing time every other week to give you and your EIP partner the opportunity to develop outlines of different sections, to work on actually writing the manuscript, and to get some feedback from myself and from peers in class. So please bring your laptop to class each Tuesday so that we could take advantage of that in-class writing time. I've also reserved the computer lab for 2 Friday writing retreats, and those have been scheduled for February 2nd and March 2nd. And I believe the time on those is from 10 to 1. So please put those on your calendar if you can attend. That would be great. This will give you an opportunity to get together for 3 hours and work on your manuscript development, and I'll make myself available to you at that time and be able to help you provide feedback and kind of usher you through that writing process. So please take advantage of that. It's a good opportunity. Okay, so that's it. That's the course overview. Pretty simple. I'm going to throw together another podcast going through all of the different assignments, so please watch both, and I will see you next Tuesday at 5 o'clock, if not before.